guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And it's the Irishman, you cocksucker!
Shit.
So it's the Irishman, guys. We wanted to have the action movie channel, the new channel we're doing, Revenge of the Action Movie, lit up and ready to go by this time, but we don't. But we do have the channel ready to go. So if you guys want to, it's right here. Go subscribe to that. We're going to get a bunch of people to subscribe to it before we start making videos on it. Our first video on that one should be an in-depth, deeper than your deepest cockles could ever cockle in the nights review of Bloodsport. Because we did all the old 80s, 90s action movies, all that shit. So go right here, please. Open up a new window, subscribe to that real quick, and we'll have that going soon.
Yozenzo Danaka is Denmark. What the hell is a Denmark? That touch.
We've never done, I don't think, any mob movie reviews, but we're huge mob movie fans, have been our entire lives. It's Martin Scorsese's new mob epic on Netflix, 3.5 hours long, but it needed it.
3.5 hours of greatness. Look, first off, I want to say about this movie right away, it's the most heartfelt Christian film I've ever seen in my life, about a man's determination to make right the wrongs in his life and just to find and pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move forward. They should show it in every synagogue and church possible. No, it's fucking brutal and it's nasty and it's crazy and it's 3.5 hours long. It's not that brutal. I mean, it's a little brutal, but yeah, it's a return to form for Scorsese, and I'm glad to see Pesci and De Niro and Pacino back. It's fucking awesome, man. This is where they belong. This is the cinema we deserve. Thank God for Netflix. Thank God for you.
That's crazy too, because actually they wanted to put this movie through Paramount. They offered the movie to Paramount for $100 million and they turned it down. And Netflix offered 160 plus, gave Scorsese carte blanche to where the fuck he wants to do, and he made a 3.5 hour movie.
Did they give him coffee cake?
Coffee cake.
Give him coffee cake.
Fucking cannolis. But you know, a lot of people are bitching about the runtime. It is a 3.5 hour long movie. People do say you should watch it all in one setting. I wasn't able to. I wanted to, but I wasn't able to because of the kids and stuff. I ended up watching it in 2 settings, like I do with my cheeseburgers. But
I thought you were gonna say like I do with my sex. I do it twice.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
First I warm it up and then I come in and finish it off. You know what I mean?
It's okay, honey.
Fucking vagina.
It's okay. We'll do it again. You fucking wackadoo.
Oh fuck.
The movie's fucking awesome. It's a non-spoiler review, by the way. But Scorsese did, and not many people know this, but Scorsese never directed De Niro and Pacino on the same screen together. That'll blow your fucking mind. It blew my mind.
Like, you would just be a fangirling all over it. You'd be like, oh my god, it's fucking Pacino. God damn, I'm a fighting man.
Somebody better get me my Dunkachino.
And you'd be like, I loved you in fucking this boy's life when you beat the shit out of fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, dude, it would be insane, like, to imagine having those powerful icons in the same, not only in the same film, but in the same scene together. Holy shit.
And they have been together, Heat, Righteous Kill, stuff like that, but Scorsese's never directed them both together, which fucking blows my mind. But no, this movie, it is a little bit different. You're expecting Goodfellas, Casino, because you got Pesci, Harvey Keitel's in it for a couple scenes, not very much. De Niro, Pacino, fucking everybody.
Ray Romano,
he was good, dude.
I liked him a lot.
He was good as hell in this movie.
Like, I just want to be your lawyer. That's all.
He really did a good job in this movie. Ray Romano's few parts that he had, it played well. He was a lawyer in the movie, but it's not. Some people would call it Goodfellas light, but I think a better way to say it is that it's retrospective. It's Scorsese looking back at his career. It's where those movies kind of glorify mob life, or they're kind of operatic, or kind of like they're fun. This movie is sad as fuck. It's also fun at times. It's hilarious. It's got a lot of black comedy and shit. Al Pacino's hilarious as Jimmy Hoffa in the movie, but it is, I don't want to say more serious because those movies are serious, but this movie, it's just sadder. It's like a sad Goodfellas mob epic. More than
I mean, I've seen some that it feels like every mob movie though has like a sad ending in some way or another. It's not, you know, some people fucking will say that they're glorifying the mob life, and it's obvious. I don't think they are at all. Like, I mean, because every mob movie I've ever watched, they all fucking die alone in some shithole or in a goddamn garden by themselves drinking wine. I mean, there's worse ways to go, I guess, drinking wine and dying like in Godfather, but nonetheless,
it's not how Sonny got it.
It's not like Sonny fucking. Ooh. And then also in or in a Bronx Tale, like how that shit went down. But nonetheless, like, I thought the ending was pretty good, like as far as like showing like what it leads to. And even though that you keep your mouth shut, you don't fucking say nothing, you don't rat on your friends, it shows you in the end you're dying alone, and you fucking ostracize your family and all sorts of shit in the pursuit of being the number one guy in the mob. Even though De Niro's not really, he's not really like in the movie. He's not trying to be the number one guy in the mob. Like a lot of them are always trying to like move up and advance in the ranks of the mafia. But it seems like he's just a guy that's just like a garbage collector.
Yeah.
Like he goes, it's like get Harvey or get or get Shorty or whatever. It felt like it was just the guy to go to. And matter of fact, I was thinking that. If anybody that was saying that Martin Scorsese does that shit is fucking obviously never watched a Scorsese film. I've never watched him do a mafia movie that ends on a good note. None of them end at high notes.
Yeah, that's
none
true.
of them do.
It's just that this one, it's like, okay, so you mentioned it perfectly. Where a lot of those movies, you have the part in like Goodfellas where Ray Liotta's on the rise, and he's like, he's getting the dinner tables, he's making the money, they get made, all this cool shit happens, and it's like a rise, and then there's a fall. In this movie, it's not really about the glory rise or whatever. Like De Niro goes up as a hitman in this movie. He starts to move up because of his talents and because of how loyal he is to the people he works for.
Yeah.
But it's not, they don't glorify how he goes up. It's kind of dark when he starts to move up, and there's stuff happening in his family and he doesn't realize how this is affecting the people around him. Some stuff like that going on. But he's a hitman, which is why they don't even show, I'm pretty sure they don't even show The Irishman. They show I heard you like to paint houses, or I heard you paint houses, or whatever is the title sequence, which is fucking glorious. It just sounds cool the way they say that. But I think that Pacino steals the fucking show.
Oh, dude, no doubt.
As Jimmy Hoffa, because Jimmy Hoffa was an over-the-top personality, so it's perfect for Al Pacino's crazy fucking antics, and he's hilarious, man. Like, I laughed so many times at this fucking movie. It's insane how funny it is.
Every time he loses his shit, it's the best part. Like, I was telling my winner on our way up here, like, I love that fucking scene when he's in the room and he's, like, surrounded by his people. He's like, I'm surrounded by dumb motherfuckers. All you dumb motherfuckers. And then Robert De Niro's in the back, he's like this, and then he walks out of the room because he's pissed off that he was Pacino was. He thought Pacino was yelling at him, and he's like, "You're never gonna talk to me like that again." He's like, "No, I didn't even see you back there." He's like, "Take your coat off, just stay in it a while." And De Niro's like, "All right, well, I mean, don't talk to me like that." He's like, "I didn't see you back there."
He's like, "What do you mean you didn't see me? I was standing right here."
"I didn't see you. I don't know. There was like a bunch of people around. I didn't see you." Like, it was funny as fuck, dude. I don't know. And Jimmy Hoffa hates like the way that Pacino plays him. Is like Jimmy Hoffa hates to be told what to fucking do by anybody. And he's like, "It's my union. It's mine." And there's one part where Russ, played by Joe Pesci, who also does a great job in the film, he was like he was trying to calm him down. He's like, "Look, you just got," he goes, "they think you don't respect me." But he's like, "I respect them. What are you talking about? I respect everybody." And then like De Niro sent over to tell him, he's like, "It is what it is." He's like, "It is what it is." He's like, "It is what it is."
I love how they did that in this movie. Like, they focused on the mob nuances. Like, you wouldn't just come out and be like, "Hey, I want you to kill this guy. I want you to shoot him twice in the face." They would just say, "I think he needs to be taken care of." And it's just, there's something about these movies, there's like old dudes just sitting in a cafe having a conversation, and they look like they're talking about the fucking football scores, but they're talking about doing a hit on somebody. He's like, "Word came from above, we're gonna need you to do something about our friend Jimmy." He's like, "You mean do something?" He's like, "I mean do something."
Dude, that's like, I was thinking, like, it's funny how that, like, they work in normal shit, and that's the way, like, code for kill.
Yeah.
Like, it was like Joe Pesci's like, "You need to see this guy and take him to Australia or something." And I went, it's like, if you were a mob guy, you could bring it up, you'd be like, "Hey, take this guy to the library, make sure he goes to fiction section." You're like, "The fiction section?" It's like, "Yeah, non-fiction is
Make sure he plays Halo, but on God mode."
Non-fiction, no good. Fiction. And make sure he never checks out his library card. It's like, "Oh, I see."
Yeah.
You just do codes.
And it was amazing.
Take him to Waffle House.
And that's kind of where Robert De Niro is in between there, because he comes up with Pesci's character. That's kind of where he gets his start doing what he's doing. But then Pesci sends him over to Hoffa because they're having some problems with the union and stuff like that. So he goes to work for him. But De Niro ends up becoming close friends with both of them. So then he's at odds with both these sides of this mob shit going on, and shit gets fucking crazy.
But it seems like Joe Pesci is like, in the way he looks, is always 5 seconds away from discovering Orville Redenbacher's secret. Like, he just looks like the Orville Redenbacher guy with his glasses.
It's the first role Pesci's done since 2010.
It was great,
and they came back and they asked him about that. They're like, "What's it like? Was it hard to get back?" And he's like, "What do you mean? I just it's Martin Scorsese." He's like, "Martin tells me what to do and I do it. It's pretty easy." But he's super reserved in this. He's not like that. Okay. Fuck you in the drive-thru. He's not like that at all. He's very reserved and calm, and he's like the middleman. Like, whenever he's talking to somebody, he won't ever say it's coming from me. He's like, "Some people, not me. Some people, not me, think that you're being a little over the top." And she was like, "What the fuck do you mean over the top? He wants shots to a meeting."
I love Casino, but I never liked the fact that De Niro was scared of Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like Joe Pesci should be the boss of De Niro. I just don't like that shit. My cousin Vinny, are you fucking serious? But yeah, man, great fucking performances all around it. And the only one, Anna Paquin just got paid money to have stern looks and look at people.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going around that. Like, some people are pissed because she didn't have enough lines, but I say that was what okay, they wrote the role that way. Some people don't talk a lot. Like, some people really don't. They don't have a lot to say. And in a movie where everybody has a lot to say, I think it was fitting that she didn't have a lot to say. She was just watching her dad, because she plays Robert De Niro's daughter in this, and kind of the emotional darkness of what's going on inside the mob. And she's often there just fucking looking at him, like, and you could see the look of disappointment on her face and how that goes. But she,
as many women in my life will attest, same look.
We're used to that look. But no, I just love all the stuff you love about a Scorsese film is there. It's wide spanning. I don't have a problem with the runtime at all. Could they have cut time out of it? Yeah, they could have cut a couple things.
But it was captivating. Like the whole fucking thing just fit. I mean, when you watch, I watched all in one setting, and it's hard to do, but nonetheless, man, I felt like it wasn't 3.5 hours. Like I fucking was in it. It's told so well, and the story is so tight, that you can't fucking help yourself but be involved. And then when you look up, you're like, damn, only 2.5 hours has gone by. Felt the same way as Casino. And by the way, I felt like it was a good mix of like Goodfellas and Casino and things like that, all put together in one film. And that's why the 3.5 hours don't bother me. I think that Casino was actually a pretty long movie to begin with. I think on VHS it was 2 fucking tapes. And Godfather was 2 tapes. But also, it was funny. Another cool little thing they have is like it kind of reminded me of Goodfellas too. Is like when they'll introduce a new character, like, oh, this is Tony Cannoli, and it'll fucking have like it'll have their stats. It's like a baseball card. It was like shot in the face in the alley, 1982. I'm like, oh damn, that guy dies. And it's like, and then there's like another one thrown outside the fucking back of a bakery. Like, I thought that was cool, and that was like I don't know if that was in a reference to Goodfellas, but you know how in Goodfellas, like Ray Liotta would like narrate, and it would show like he fucking died 3 years later from cancer. Like he did that kind of shit, but it was like just in a different subtle way. It was really cool, man.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. And so a lot of people are talking about the CGI for it. The CGI to me, because they de-aged De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci with this new de-aging technology or whatever, the CGI type thing. And sometimes, yeah, you can see it. Sometimes De Niro's eyes and his face just look fucking weird. There's one scene in particular, the classic Scorsese scene, where there's a scene where someone goes into a bakery to beat the fuck out of somebody, and it's unnatural looking. Like that scene particularly looks really, really unnatural. It looks very strange. You can tell that because you got an older man's body moving around and kicking somebody in the street and doing this fucked up scene.
It looked like my dad if he stepped in a big pile of dog shit trying to get it off his foot. He's like, God damn it. Dogs.
Yeah, it just looks weird because they used them for those scenes. He used De Niro in his older age to film that scene, but he's got a young face on. So you're seeing an older man's body movements with a younger man's face, and it looks really strange. And a couple times it is a little bit off-putting, but for the most part, it's good. And if just to be fair, if you look at them now, I'm glad that they did the de-aging technology.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Because I'd say 85% of the time, it worked, and it was, and Pesci especially. Pesci looked fucking great.
That's the thing. Like I thought it was I didn't even know they used de-aging, or like CG. I thought they just used makeups and some practical effects to make him look. It convinced me. Other than the eyes of De Niro, I was like, damn, his eyes are fucking blue.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought his eyes were like fucking blue, but nonetheless, yeah, I was like convinced that it was like a younger, like just makeup and stuff. But I mean, yeah, otherwise still good. I mean, yeah, off-putting. I don't know. I wasn't like taken out of the scene or anything.
No, it was noticeable a couple times, and sometimes it wasn't that great. But overall, it was done well. I read something once that they were like the eye's natural like condition is like when you're watching something, if it's fake, if it is CGI, you will pick up on it no matter what. Like there's just something about the condition when you're watching something, even if you don't see it, you can feel it that it's not real, that it's CGI, that it's computer animated. Like your body just knows. And I think sometimes that plays through
like
in this film a little bit. Yeah, like
we just know it's not.
It's not funny. It's not but overall, man, I think that it's not as brutal, and it's not as, I don't want to say happy, but as vibrant as maybe Goodfellas or some of Scorsese's older films were. Sometimes it's almost kind of like Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. It's kind of like a look back. Yeah. And sometimes with some regret. It's a movie about a regret and a lot of sad things, and it's not as vibrant as some of the old movies. I wouldn't put it on an even level with Goodfellas. I wouldn't put it on an even level with movies like that, but it's right fucking there, man. I mean, it is a Scorsese mob epic, and we just don't get films like that today. It's still a 9.5 for me, almost a 10.
Yeah, I'm going to give it the same score. I love the shit out of it. Look, the thing about this movie is that, while again, we'll mention the runtime, it is long, but if you're a Mafia fan, if you're a fan of Scorsese, if you're a fan of any of the actors in a mob movie, it's going to be a movie that you're going to love. And the fact that they go along and they go the regular route of like a guy starts off small and then he rises up, and then he kind of, later on in his life, he comes to a conscious and he's like, oh shit, I've really lost a lot here. I think it's told really well, and not to mention the fact that the set pieces look fucking great. Everybody looks amazing, and it's like you get these guys back in their prime again when they with this de-aging thing, and they're all, you know, like they have such synergy with those actors like Pacino, De Niro, Pesci. They all had this synergy, and you can't get that very often. And you got Scorsese behind the lens doing all the work with them, man. Like, and if being on Netflix too, where you don't have to go and deal with a bunch of screaming children and titties popping out, fucking breastfeeding, all that bullshit. You know, nothing like that.
I've never had that happen.
I have. I've seen it before.
You've not seen that in a movie.
No, I wanted
before.
to though. But the movie sucked. I'm like, well, I'll watch that. But yeah, you don't have to deal with that and have to go to the concession stands and pay like $100,000. Sit at home for like what, $13 or something.
I would prefer to actually have watched this in a movie theater.
I mean, I would have seen it, like, but I'm saying, like, at the same time, if you don't have the ability to go out or the money, I mean, for a couple
it's
of bucks,
convenient, sure.
I mean, go ahead and fucking put down a couple dollars and watch a mafia movie and watch Scorsese kill it. But
let me enjoy my ice cream.
Yeah, man, like, it's so fucking good, and I mean, definitely check it out. I don't think anybody's not gonna go check it out, but
yeah, definitely watch it if you're a fan of those movies. Like I said, I wouldn't put it on the Goodfellas level, but it's right there, man. You can sense it through and through. It is a Scorsese fucking mob film, and it's the expectations for this movie when you hear who's in it and you hear what they're doing and you hear who's directing it are fucking sky high, and it just barely comes in. But like when I first finished watching it, I was just like, okay. It's not that I was disappointing at all because it's such a great movie, but it has tiny problems with it. Like I said, like Goodfellas is a fucking 10. It's an all-time 10. The movie's not perfect.
I think the
but
one,
it's still great.
well, because we talked about that too. I just think the main one of the things, it wasn't like a big issue for me, and I don't know why I need it, but I need it for my fucking coffee. I need that caffeine, but I wanted a little bit more violence.
Yeah,
like because I expected it. I'm like Goodfellas is violent. Like there's violent moments in it. I've seen some other mob movies that are very violent. Like and it's shocking. Like sometimes like I watched American Gangster the other night, and when he puts the fucking gun in that guy, he's like, "You gonna shoot me in front of all these people?" And he just fucking blows his goddamn brains out. You see it in the middle of the street. I'm like, shit, that guy you don't fuck with, and he was in Training Day. But I thought there'd be some more of that, and there wasn't. And it was a little bit more like the camera would kind of cut away a little bit, or they would just show the after effects.
It's quick.
Yeah, there was moments in it you're like, oh, that was pretty brutal, but it wasn't as brutal. But nonetheless, that's a small little nitpicky thing. Still great acting.
The violence is there. It's just not over the top, and he's real quick and clean about what he does. It's usually like he catches you in the street with a revolver. That one fucking hit was so badass, dude. There's a lot of hits in the movie. That one hit was so badass when he's standing in his hotel room and he's talking to the camera. It's that you get right back to Ray Liotta doing the commentary for Goodfellas.
Yeah.
He's talking to the camera basically, not fourth wall, but he's talking, and he's got all of his guns on the bed. He's like, now for a job like this, he's like, wait, you want to have this gun or this gun or this gun? He's pushing guns to the side. That one hit in the middle with the tracking shot where he has to go in a restaurant and kill a guy, and he's talking about how to do it, how you go to the bathroom first, where you have your driver go around the front. He explains the essence of like a pizzeria hit and full on. That's probably the best part of the movie, man. It was intense as fuck, and it brought me all the way back to Michael Corleone's hit in Godfather.
We didn't mention much about Pesci, but Pesci is a cold-hearted motherfucker in this. Like, dude, he's a nice guy in a lot of ways, but his gangster side does show through quite often. There's one specific scene that I was like, that's some cold fucking shit. When he was like, there's one scene he sends De Niro out to do something, and he's like, here, he goes, you're gonna get on a plane, go yourself. He goes, I didn't want to involve you, but you know, it is what it is. And he's like, I'll hold your glasses. And he sits in the fucking airport. He sends him to Detroit to do a terrible fucking thing, and then when he gets back, he gives him his glasses. He's like, all taken care of. I was like, God damn, you cold-hearted snake.
I think one of the things that's missed when it comes to The Sopranos or mob movies in general, I think one of the special things about it that's kind of under the surface is the friendships between these older dudes.
Yeah.
Because like when you get to a stage in life, like you're almost not supposed to have friendships that close and close knit. But with these guys, when you're in the families and shit, like they are fucking brothers. Like they would die for each other, and sometimes they have to kill each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes some crazy fucking shit happens, but it's the deep fucking friendships that these guys have. That when they mention family, they really mean it, and it's cool to watch these guys interact. And I just want to mention one more time how fucking funny this movie is. Dude.
Oh, dude, it's great.
You will laugh your ass off if you're paying attention to the nuances. Like there's one scene where Jimmy Hoffa is standing, he's on stage, and he knows this guy's been talking shit about him, and he's just sitting there eating his fucking food, and they pan back to the guy that was talking shit about it, and he's just sitting there watching him. And he never takes his fucking eyes off him while he's eating, and I laugh my ass off.
He's like, he goes, if a man's late, 10 minutes. He goes, if he's 15 minutes late, he tell you something. It's like, fuck yourself. And he's like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna ask for your nominee. He goes, I need you to vote for me for president. He's like, I'll vote for you for president when you apologize. Apologize for what? Like, dude, it's so good. And then because De Niro and them are trying to keep the peace. He's like, come on. He's like, come on, fucking thing. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, you just ask him. He's like, I need your vote. Dude, it's so good. I don't know, man.
That scene in particular,
Jimmy Hoffa, like
classic.
I can't. Dude, it's one of Al Pacino's best roles. Like, it's got to be one of his best roles. It really is.
He brought full fucking Al Pacino in this role. So, and De Niro was great too. He just his character didn't have a lot of personality. Where Pacino carried the movie for a lot of time with the vibrancy, with the crazy Pacino shit. But then you get to the end when everything's kind of settled in the dust, and you've got a retrospective De Niro looking back on all the stuff that he's done, and that's when you get De Niro's power acting. When you get his regret and stuff like that, and it's fucking powerful.
Well, I also like.
Great fucking
I can't say that, but there's one scene like when they're like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you because it would really spoil the end of that and how that crescendos up. But either way, fucking check it out, man.
Yeah.
If you don't check it out, fucking Tony will kill you. Which Tony? The other Tony. Which Tony? The other Tony.
They all named Tony.
Tony Baloney, Tony Cannoli, and Tony Stromboli.
That's the funny thing with this because they're Irish. Like he's Irish, so he's talking shit about the Italians. He's like, what do you mean they're all named Tony? What are you talking about?
They are.
The whole dynamics here are fucking amazing. So 9.5 out of 10. Really, by any other movie standards, it would definitely be a 10. Like, if this was a surprise hit, and that's unfair, but I'm just calling it what the fuck it is, you know?
Say what it is, what it is.
But it would be a fucking 10. But because of some CGI issues, because a couple story points are a little bit confusing, a couple things here and there, it's not absolutely perfect, but it's top 5 of the year for me, for absolute fucking sure. Definitely go watch this, and it's on Netflix! Get some goddamn worm up in ya!
Bye-bye.
You cocksucker!
We'll see you at Sal's.
And also, don't forget, go subscribe to that fucking channel because shit's gonna be coming. It's gonna be coming.
It's gonna be nice, just like me. Ooh, God. Well, I'm not gonna be on the channel.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.